Hi, what is up guys? Manic here, and welcome to a different video. I'm running out of ideas, so I do have the napkin again. If you guys remember, the napkin, first of all, you have some dedication to this channel. Um, but the napkin was where I made, whenever I started doing this, I made a list video talking about kind of comparing the Companions in New Vegas and Fallout 4. So I brought this back. I do have the Fallout 4 Companions on this, but now I have New Vegas. So let's get started. So how I'm doing this is based off of the one I did for Fallout 4, which is I'm not going over how useful they are, just my own personal opinions, because I'm running out of video ideas. So I decided, I'm gonna give my personal opinion on them, their weapons, and what. The only thing that'll stay consistent with the previous one I did, where I talked about how useful the companions are, will be the weapons. Perks aside, all that. I was talking about what if I enjoy them. Since there aren't backstories, and there isn't much backstories to this, like Fallout 4, so this is gonna should be a very quick, very easy video. So number one is Lily. I haven't really used Lily a whole lot, just because I don't like the idea of, personally, I don't like having a super mutant travel with me, with the exception of Fox, but that's just because Fox has a Gatling laser, and he's awesome. But it mostly comes down to the fact that companions in this aren't like Fallout 4, where if you need them to move, they will. They stay in their place no matter what. So yeah. Plus, I don't like the thought of a Nightkin grandmother seems weird. So yeah. Next is Arcade Gannon. Again, he's pretty useful, but in terms of this, there have been times where I have beaten the game without the need of Arcade Gannon. I haven't done arcades. I have done it before, but there have been so many times where I've done it where I've been in the game without doing arcades quest and whatnot. So that's up there. I'm not going over perks because that kind of makes it into a very useful or somewhat kind of the previous Fallout New Vegas companion list I did, so I'm trying to avoid that. Next is Raul, another one, mostly because I just don't care. Whenever I did do a cowboy character, but I did use Cass for that one. And some of you guys already know who my number one pick is gonna be. It's blatantly obvious because a lot of people like this companion as well. I wonder how many people. I wonder how many people knew who my number one pick was for Fallout 4. Anyways, so yeah, Raul just seems a bit weird. He always, I don't like companions that sort of run up and talk about stuff. And Raul does that completely out of nowhere. Arcade does that as well, but I don't know. There isn't really much anything useful with him for me. So yeah. Next is Rex. Oh God. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Rex. He's very squishy. I don't like, and with how squishy Rex is, there comes a certain point where, since he is a melee character, I do use a lot of guns. I did use a lot of energy weapons, but now that I'm using ballistics, Rex gets in the way more times than not, which means I end up killing him or knocking him out so many fucking times. So yeah. Next was supposed to be Cass, but then I forgot about Boone, so Boone is on this list. So Boone is next. The criteria for some of these was the fact that I wanted accessibility to some of them. And Boone is definitely one of those where he's not, there aren't stipulations on how to get them. I would say the top two are pretty easy to get. because you don't need to do anything. Um, or if they are there, or if you do, they're pretty easy. But Boot is definitely one of those where you have to complete a quest for it. Boot uses a hunting rifle, which means he's actually pretty good. He's actually pretty good with it. Other than that, that's it. I do use a lot of gun characters, and he's definitely one of those to kill or steal my kill whenever I need it. So yeah. Next is Cass. Now, Cass is definitely one of those where like if you don't, where you need to invest in either barter or speech to get, or else you won't be able to get her. So whenever the times I have used her, she's pretty good. She does, um, she is a cowgirl, which is which means if you do a cowboy character is amazing. And if you give her the I think the brush gun, she's so good at it. She it's amazing. But like Rex, she's the squishiest of the humanoid companions. Means she dies more often, but if you give her armor, about as about as good as everyone else. Next is Eddie. Eddie is one of the two companions I use the most. He's by far the easiest one to get, in the sense that there are parts to get him. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to get the parts to get him before even heading to Prim. So the parts to get him, whenever you leave Doc Mitchell's house, if you go to Victor's shack, you find 1 or 2 pieces of scrap metal, depending. I don't know. I usually find 1 there. And if you go to the Lone Wolf radio, which is up near the Goodsprings source, you can find 1 scrap electronics and 2 sensor modules there. And once you're at Prim, you can get the final 2 scrap metal needed for the 3. So that means you would need 3 scrap metal, 2 sensor modules, and 1 scrap electronics, and then boom, you have Eddie. So that's literally easy. You don't even have to leave Prim to get the rest of well, you could, but the second you get Prim, if you do it right, you just get the 2 scrap metal near Eddie, and then you have him. So he's pretty easy. He's he can either be depending on his quest, he can either be made powerful, do more damage, or take more damage. I usually do more damage, especially in hardcore mode, which I have been playing a lot of recently. Speaking of which, if you guys remember from my hardcore builds, I said that if you want to do if you care about endings, do as many companions as you want, because I recommend no companions because of the fact that companions can die. But if you do want, but I did say if you do want companions, I do advise Eddie or Veronica, because those are easy. Those are the easiest companions to get, and you don't really need to travel far. You could easily go to the strip and still be able to have those 2 companions. Because there aren't like certain quests you need to do. There aren't. Well, Veronica does have a stipulation in there. It's if you don't. If you know about her and get her as a companion and you know what she's about, then it's pretty easy. Which leads to number 1, Veronica. First of all, let me just say, the voice actress for Veronica plays my favorite character in the show Supernatural. So that's an extra plus to that. But Veronica is a scribe for the Brotherhood of Steel. She's badass as fuck. She is the power fist, which she's pretty good at. And if you give her a dress, which, by the way, to get her the dress that she needs, you need to either kill a White Glove Society person, or pickpocket their. Or that's the only way to get it. If you do the White Glove Society quest siding with Marjorie and not Mortimer, meaning you have to stop the people from being cannibals, then you can get it off a dude named Chauncey, who wears a White Glove Society uniform. You can take that off his body, give it to Veronica, and then you have that. So she does teach you punching, which, if done right, is probably is or not. Well, I meant to say is probably the best melee attack skill, but definitely is. If you time it right, at least. Which, if you don't know how to do it, it tells you how to do it. I'm not going to. It's been a while since I've used it. So yeah, and the best, and I will say there is a bonus to that, and it's that she is a lesbian. I do have massive respect for the LGBTQ plus community, and the fact that she's a lesbian makes this 10 times better. Not, I do also like arcade, but I didn't think about that point until now. So yeah, if I had thought about that, maybe arcade would have been higher, but yeah. Plus, she dates Christine Royce, and aside from that, she's the second person, aside from the courier, that's linked to the most DLCs, in the sense, if you consider her link with Christine Royce and Fall Elijah to be there, then she's definitely linked there somehow. She's definitely linked to 3 of the 4. But the courier is linked to all 4. So yeah, but what I like about this list as opposed to the Fallout 4 list is I would have loved it if you could romance the companions, mostly because of the fact that so basically you just be romancing Arcade, Cass, Boone, and Veronica, or maybe not Boone, dependent. But there would be certain stipulations, like for Arcade you have to be a guy to do so, Veronica a girl. Cass would be the only non-gender specific companion to romance, because she's fine with either of them. I wouldn't say Raul just because he's pretty old and he's, I don't know. Always find it weird whenever people can romance ghouls, just because like it's basically decaying flesh, and it's just it just feels weird. I'm not racist towards ghouls, if that's considered racist at this point, but just the fact that you're having sex with the ghoul just seems weird. But yeah, I think Cass would be the only non-gender specific, but considering the fact you do have sex with some prostitutes up in the Casa Madrid, and I think Gamora, the only person I've ever really romance or had sex with in the Gamora was Dazzle. That in the Atomic Wrangler, but again, that's a ghoul thing, and ghouls. I just the if you romance or if you have sex with Beatrix, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The sound of that as a whole is just weird, but yeah, I think it also would have been funny if you could romance Eddie. If you can find a way, if there's some way you could do that, that would be funny as shit. But yeah, that's what makes this interesting. Is unlike Fallout 4, where you have, I have the list right here, so I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have like 8 companions you can romance minus the DLC companions. This you would have 4. Yeah, Arcade, Boone, Cass, and Veronica. Which unlike Fallout 4 isn't gender specific. Or would be gender specific, because that would be a weird stipulation, like, oh, you want to romance Dance, you have to be a female or male or whatever. Or I guess the only person that would have been gender specific would be McCready. You would have to be a female. But since there isn't gender specifics, whatever. But yeah, I think that would have made this list even better. Not because of the fact you get to romance companions, like I mentioned in my Fallout 4 video. I talked about the fact that the reason I enjoyed a certain companion so much was because you get to romance them. If you recall from that. But I feel like with this, since you know the sexuality, it would have been interesting, or a little side bonus. There's probably a mod out there for that, but I use a PS3, so I don't know of any mods there. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's definitely I did say this was a quick video, but not as quick as I thought it would be. It is definitely quicker than my Fallout 4 video. Yeah, do you guys agree with my list? Do you think someone should have been higher? Do you think someone should have been lower? Let me know in the comments down below what you think. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It'll really help out this channel a lot. I am, as you're watching this, I am on a 2-week break because I'm going back and forth between here and my mom's apartment. So I do 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. I am currently, as you're watching this, hopefully I'm on the 2 weeks. I'm on the 2-week break. So there's that. That's the reason you aren't seeing as many videos this week, is because I don't have any other video planned and I'm running low on ideas. So plus I need to figure out where the fuck one of the thumb drives is that I have, because I originally got it for Skyrim. I need to find where that is and then put it on into my PS4 so that way I can transfer a video I made from there and then upload it onto YouTube. So yeah, so subscribe if you're new, share with friends, and especially share with people who enjoy Fallout New Vegas. See if they agree with my list. If not, then who do they say is the greatest and why? Again, stipulation to this: I'm not including perks because I've already done a video where I include perks. I did think about doing personalities, but personalities are limited as opposed to Fallout 4, so yeah. And the only other thing that makes the Fallout 4 list better than this one is the case of, like, the only way to lose companions, or all of them, is if you have negative affinity or with them. There are a few companions that you lose depending on who you side with. Deacon if you side with the Brotherhood of Steel, the Institute, or if you do not issue the evacuation notice for the Minutemen. Dance if you go against the Brotherhood of Steel, and X6 if you go against the Institute, but I've seen people keep X6 while blowing up the Institute, and Preston if you side with the Nuclear World Raiders. But other than that, the only way to lose them is if you have so much negative affinity that they hate you, which only happened to me once, which was Preston. So yeah. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that. You guys are awesome. And I will see you guys in the next video I make. Yeah.